Fair.
CJ, let's start with BYU Iowa State. 96-92. BYU was 18 for 36 from three. Iowa State was 13 for 30 from three. Every time I looked up at this game, I kept thinking the score was early in the second half, and it would be like 8 minutes left in the first half.
Yeah.
What do you make of BYU's performance? Let's start with BYU first. They've won 9 in a row, 11 of their last 13, and they've turned into what looks like maybe the most dangerous team in the Big 12. Is that crazy to say that they might be the most dangerous team in the Big 12 right now?
No, it's not crazy. I think they're going to be in the championship game on Saturday, and they might win this freaking thing. Like, they are playing so well. We talked about them last night, and they just took it to, obviously they've been good lately, but that performance today was so much fun to watch. And what's awesome about this team is like we just watched Kansas here, who just wore down the stretch because they got no depth again for the second straight year. But BYU's playing 11 dudes, and they're all – you can throw them all out there, and, like, you don't have to worry that, okay, we're going to take a drop because they can all play. And the way – Iowa State they're so physical, and they're so hard to go up against on the offense when they're on the defensive end. And BYU didn't have any problems, man. They just ping that thing all around. They make all the right passes. They're not afraid. Nobody that goes out there is afraid to take a shot. And that's what we saw today. Just dudes that are playing with the ton of confidence and being in the right spots, and they shot the heck out of it. Big 12 tournament record, 18 threes.
Okay, but let me ask,
man.
Wait, hold on, Rob.
Go ahead,
hold on, Rob. So, no Keyshawn Gilbert, which I don't even know if we're going to see him again, and if we do, how much we're going to see him in the NCAA tournament, because it's going to be hard to TJ out. Right? I mean, he may not come back. But they didn't have Taman Lipsey today, who, to me, is by far their most important player on both ends of the court. He's obviously the guy that kind of runs the show. You don't think he's their most important player? Overall?
Curtis Jones might be that guy because you got to have somebody score the ball. And,
That's fair.
Curtis was freaking cooking today. Like, that's the only reason this was a game. Curtis put on one of the best shooting displays in a half I've ever seen. So I would maybe push back a little bit there with maybe coming with Curtis Jones. But Lipsey is very important, and Lipsey's tough. Like, if this were an NCAA tournament game, he would have played.
Yeah, was this the right move?
There was no reason to play him. There was no reason to play him. They're in a good spot. And honestly, like, Jeff, Iowa State played one of their best games in the last couple months today. Like, we got, even though they were missing those two dudes, they played out of their minds. Like, Curtis was on a freaking run in the first half that it made me think of this is crazy. But like, we were talking here at the arena, and it's like somebody brought up Durant maybe it was me, Durant at Kansas, and like that's wild. But it was that kind of shooting display.
Maybe it was me.
He was on fire. Maybe it was me. No one disagreed though.
Yeah. No, look, the Iowa State thing is I think that when they are playing like this offensively, I still buy into the idea that this team can get to a second weekend and maybe even an Elite Eight, right? Because I do think that they have a couple guys that can go out and do things. Like Joshua Jefferson, I don't think we mentioned him yet. He was really good today too, and he's been such an important addition
point guard.
to them. Like that's to me, that's why they're dangerous, is because when they need to, they could dig deep and get some stops, right? Because that's just how they're wired and how they're built and how TJ wants to coach. But this team has the firepower, even when they don't have those other two guys, that they're going to be able to make a little bit of noise. So I'm still bullish on them finding a way to be able to make something happen in the tournament. I don't know if they're a Final Four team. I think that ship has kind of sailed a little bit, but I do think that they can get to a second weekend.
Yeah, they got a little bit of swag back. Like Curtis Jones, I think he wore down as the season progressed, and obviously he had it back today. Milan was playing with a little more confidence, and you hit it there with Joshua Jefferson. Like, he is their kind of connective piece. Like I said, he was bringing up the ball, playing some point guard. I'd like to see him maybe shoot few more threes. Like he can kind of do a little bit of everything. And so I think they're back to maybe scoring the ball like they were early in the year. And where they really missed Lipsy today was just that point of attack defensively. Jeff's right. Like they were, that takes their defense to another level. But I have enough confidence in that they're going to come out and play their asses off in the tournament. And I'm with you that, like, unless they get a really bad matchup the first weekend, I think they'll just will themselves into the second weekend.